everybody. Hello, everybody. Lovelies, lilies, lads, lords, and dudes, and sugar plums, right? All of you sugar fairies, right? I don't know. Lily moons, lily flowers, right? All the beautiful things going on, right? In the garden, right? In the garden. All right. So I thought I'd throw this one at you, real quick. Before have to get on with the day. Unfortunately, yeah, I got a real stuff. No. This is real stuff. I got other stuff I have to do, unfortunately. But well, not unfortunately. It's not unfortunate at all. It's good stuff. Good stuff. But anyway, so this goes to the case again. And it's again, this is nothing revolutionary at all. nothing that you see on this channel is revolutionary in any fashion at all. It's not. It's not. That's not the point of the channel. That's not the point of the channel. Point of the channel is not to try to present something to you. So I try to make you think that I'm presenting something like, oh, well, that's a bomb, whatever. That's not that. No, that's not this channel. No. And I hope I don't want to ever give that impression either. Don't ever. I'm not, and again, so what I'm saying is nothing new at all. And it's not anything that somebody else hasn't already thought of, right? Sure. This is just me trying to work out stuff with this. So all this really boils down to, and talking to you guys. And you telling me what you think about things with this case. That's what this is about. That's all it is, really. When you think about it, that's all it is. Anyway, yeah, it's absurd. Sure, that's another point of this, right? The case is absurd. So this is absurd. So it's trying to 1-to-1, in a weird way. Absurd case, absurd channel, right? To match that absurdity in the case that we're seeing, right? Right. All right, so I was thinking about this one. And again, it's not anything new. It's not anything new. You guys have probably thought it through as well. It's just something that I wanted to just throw out there because it's one of those things that's been on my mind a lot about this case. A lot. A lot. And you know what? Well, I'll get into that later. Stay on topic, right? Stay on topic. All right. So I was thinking about this. And everything, again, pure theory. Okay? Pure theory. That's all it is. Theory. That's all it is. Nothing beyond that. Nothing beyond theory. That's all it is. All right. So, and this one is probably going to be obvious too. But this is something that keeps popping up in my mind over and over again. Like a million other things with this not stupid case, okay? I shouldn't say stupid. With this case. Is that, listen, if the two roommates who supposedly survived all this, okay? If the two roommates didn't have anything to do with this, now think about this. This question keeps popping up in my head too. If these two roommates didn't have anything to do with what happened that night in the house, and if there was some sort of like, I don't know, like we suspect anybody. So again, I am new to the party, right? I'm new to the party. People have been covering all this stuff for years. So I'm new to the party. I know that, right? I'm a new guy. I'm the new person. I'm one of the new. There's many new people, right, that come and go and jump into this, right? So I know that. I know I'm a little, and that's fine. Whatever. That I don't care. I don't know what's better. No, this has nothing to do with it. So no, I'm not going to get into that. That's off topic. So, but look, if the two roommates had nothing to do with this, and you can say that for sure. In your mind, you could say, I know in my mind that these two have nothing to do with what happened. Okay. All right. Fine. Fine. Right? Fine. That's your world. That's your world. That's okay, right? That may be the correct one. I don't know. We don't know. We don't know. We don't know until the very end of things. So, anyway, the two roommates. So I was thinking about this, right? And it's obvious. It's not anything magical about this at all. But wouldn't you like if you're the state and you're the judge in this case, right? Well, wouldn't you want to make them appear as good as possible? I mean, wouldn't you want the two roommates who had nothing to do with this crime, wouldn't you want to make them look as good as possible? Wouldn't you? I would. Look, if there's no cover up or any of that stuff happening, then wouldn't you want to make these two as look as rosy as possible? Wouldn't you? But do we see that? Do we see that? No, I don't think we do. Do you? Do you see that? When you go through all the stuff, right? When you look at all the stuff involving these two, do you get a good picture of them? No, you don't, do you? I don't. I don't get a good picture of these two at all. And what doesn't help that fact is, or my fact, what I think that is a fact, right? What doesn't help any of that is because everything that's come out about these two has been bad, right? It looks terrible. It does. It looks absolutely terrible. Yeah. So you think to yourself, well, if they had nothing to do with this, then why do they look so bad, right? Think about it. Why do these two look so horrible? I don't know, right? It's a question you got to answer, though. Yeah. If you want to know what happened, right? I'm thinking this. Well, if I'm trying to solve a problem, right, and I don't have all the information to try to actually solve the problem correctly, well, then, right, we're speculating, of course, right? How am I going to solve this problem that I don't have all the information to? How am I going to solve that? Like this case, right? This whole case is like that. How am I going to solve this case? Or, you know what I'm saying? How do I get to what is real about this? You know? I don't know. But anyway, the roommates. So if they have nothing to do with this, then why do they look so bad? I don't get it. Or if there is some, well, what we suspect, there's a lot of shenanigans going on. I'm just going to leave it there. A lot of shenanigans, right? This is what we suspect. There's a lot of shit happening that's not on a level. I'll just leave it there, right? On the level. But wouldn't you look, if you were the state or the judge, right? And you're writing orders and you're doing all this, you know, you're putting the orders out there, and this is my order. This is my order. This is what goes, right? This is what's gonna go. Well, wouldn't you try to make them look a little better? I mean, seriously. Like, if you're writing your orders up, well, first of all, you need to learn how to edit, right? You need to learn how to edit to some degree, to make them look better. And you don't see that. I don't see that. Do you see that? I don't see that at all. Yeah. In fact, and you guys know this already. In fact, it's the entire opposite of what happens. So the more information we get, the more we get, and the more we get, and the more we get, they look worse and worse and worse, don't they? At least in my opinion, they do. They do. They look worse and worse and worse. So if you're trying to say these two have nothing to do with anything, right? Totally innocent of what happened. Why do they look so bad? That's the question, right? And why isn't the state or the judge trying to help that image? Why aren't they trying to help that image? I don't get it. I don't get that. I do not get that. That's something that, again, that's another one of these things that bothers me a lot. You would want, look, and this, and this covers either way. This covers whether there is shenanigans going on or whether there isn't, because this doesn't change. So the picture, right? The picture that we get of them two, Whether they're innocent of this or not, it doesn't change. Like, there's no order or anything that's coming out that says, well, you know what I mean? Maybe not necessarily order, but something that the judge feels is okay to let the public know, right? To let the public in on. He's making that decision, right? Let the public in on certain pieces of information. So I don't get it. I don't get it. Why wouldn't you try to make them at least appear better than they are? I don't get it. I don't get it. That's another one of those questions that I keep having about this. Why don't they look better than they should look better, right? I mean, this is not anything new at all. But I don't know. Weird. It's very weird, right? Well, think about it. Just think about it. Think about it. If there is some sort of cover-up, now again, this is mud. But if there's a cover-up, and there's suspicions, right? There's a lot of suspicions and connections that you could say in the mud. Yeah, there's something definitely going on here that we don't know about, and it's not good, right? You could say that, and there's a lot of things not on the level with this case. There isn't. You can say that, and that's mud. You got to clarify. Right? It's still mud. Good mud, but it's mud. But the roommates, though. See, here it is. It keeps going back to the same points. Same points over and over. Same points. Yeah. Because in a case, any case like this, not just this case, but similar cases, you don't want people thinking, here's one thing. You don't want people thinking, like, even if it's a cover-up or not, whether it's a cover-up or not, you still don't want people thinking that other people are there's more stronger possibility of them being the suspect than the person you have on trial, right? Right? You don't want that. Do you? No. You don't want that. You don't want people thinking, wait a minute, what about these two? What are they doing? You don't want people thinking anything like that, do you? No. You want people to think the person that you got caged, he's the person. Right? Whether it's a cover-up or not, you don't want people thinking that other people may have done this. Do you want that? But yet I see no deterrence. No deterrence to that at all. Why is that? Why is there no deterrence to this? I don't get it. I don't get it. Again, it goes back to themes. Always themes for me. I am nothing, everything that has come out about these roommates in the documents. Let's just stick with the documents. Everything that has come out about these two in the documents has not deterred me from thinking they had something to do with this at all, which is bizarre because you don't want that. You don't want that. You don't want me and 500,000 other people, whatever, to think that, right? You don't want people going down alleyways, do you? You don't. Why would you want that? I don't get it. But we don't see that. We don't see it in this case. There's nothing that deters me from thinking these two had something to do with it. Right? Yeah. And that's just look, that is from the documents. That is not from anything else. They look horrible. I'm sorry. They look horrible. I don't know. And then why isn't the state or the judge, why aren't they doing more to help that image? I don't get it. Don't get that. Because again, you don't want people thinking, millions of people thinking that the person you have pegged for this, well, they ain't the right person. No, and these two are a good contrast, aren't they? These two, in their behavior and what they did and did not do, is a sharp contrast, isn't it? A very sharp contrast. Very sharp contrast. Very sharp contrast. Definitely. And they overshadow, in my opinion, that contrast overshadows almost everything else. In this case, almost everything. But yeah, they are the contrast. Big contrast. Yeah. And so I don't get this. I don't get it. Why are we're not doing anything to help their image, are we? No. In fact, again, the more that comes out in the documents about these two, the worse they look. Don't they? Yes. Because, again, their actions don't make sense, and their actions don't fit the situation at all. Do they? No, they don't. They do not. These two, their actions do not fit what we think we know to be true in this case, right? Well, obviously, yeah. Their actions and non-actions don't match what we're seeing. Yeah. And nobody's helping that. Nobody's helping this image. Nobody's helping that image. So you gotta, I don't know. That's just a question. Wouldn't you want that image to look as good as possible? Wouldn't you want that? Anyway, just wanted to throw that one out to you. Yeah. That's another one that sticks out in my brain a lot with this case. With those two, it goes to deterrence. Really. Deter me, right? It's like, why aren't you deterring me from thinking that they didn't have anything to do with it? But yet, the more that comes out, the more I think they had something to do with it. You know what I mean? Ridiculous. Weird and ridiculous. You know what I mean? Anyway, hope you like that one. That's another question for you guys, right? Man, why isn't there more deterrence? I don't get it. But anyway, I hope you like that. Hey, TGIF, right? TGIF. But then again, I also got to keep in mind this. Not everybody that watches this is from the States. That's something I got to remember, right? Hey, UK, love you. Australia, you know who you are. I love you, right? So I got to keep that in mind. Not everybody knows what does, TJF, right? Thank God it's Friday, right? But I remember, or I need to remember, not everybody shares the same sort of thing, right? So if I say, hey, TJF, everybody, well, I may be alienating people, and I'm not even realizing it, right? Right? Just another random thought. TJF. But then, wait a minute. Somebody's watching from, I don't know, New Zealand. I don't know, right? They're like, what is that? I don't know what that is. Yeah, I got to keep that in mind. Something as simple as that. When you say, well, thank God it's Friday, right? Well, I know what I mean. And if you, if you're I don't know, if you're in the same boat, right? You know what this means. Thank God it's Friday, right? Thank God. But some of you may not know what that is. So I got to keep that in mind. Not everything is universal. That's what I'm trying to say. Anyway, I love you guys. Hope you like that one. Yeah, we keep going. I'll throw one out to you later. But I just want to see what you thought about that. Again, nothing revolutionary, nothing magical about it. Just one of those things that keeps coming up and coming up. Anyway, love you all. I hope you have a wonderful day. Wonderful day. Yeah, wonderful day. That's it. Just have a nice day. How's that? Let's keep it there. Have a nice day. Just have a good day. That's all. All right. Bye-bye, guys. Bye-bye.